So the workout that we have to do to get used to stay synchronized to the spring, or if to check if we are able to do so, it's to first of all start feeling this type of approach with our hand, which of course it's gonna be easier, and so just let the pedal swing with our hand, following it, trying to not feel the weight of the pedal, so in this way. And once we do that and we have an idea of the feeling, which the feeling is the hardest part to understand, once we have the feeling, we can then recreate that same feeling with our ankle. And the first approach, the first thing we can do with heel down, which is a little bit easier because there's less motion involved, and so it's going to be a little bit easier for us to get used to that. So in this way, so starting very slow and slowly increase the dynamic of the motion. We don't even need to play against the surface that we're doing this exercise on, either bass drum or a practice pad. We just need to keep the swinging going. Of course, then if we hit the kick, it's not a problem. But it's not the focus of the exercise anyway. The focus is to keep synchronized with the spring. Then second step, it's going to be playing the same thing with all the other techniques that we know, which can either be heel up, heel toe, or slide, accented strokes, swivel, whatever it is. We have to make sure that we're able to stay synchronized to the spring with any technique. If not, we won't take advantage of it. So we might be able to do so to stay synchronized with the heel down, but then when we play heel up, since it requires more motion, it's a little bit harder and we might not do it. So let's make sure that with the technique that we usually use, we're able to stay synchronized to the spring. So then with the heel toe, then swivel, and then let's try to put them together and see if we can keep the same feeling and just change the way we control the swinging. So of course the swivel requires a little bit more speed in the motion, because the lateral motion it's harder, or it's uncomfortable to keep at a slow tempo. And let's make sure that we do all these motions only with our ankle and not involving our leg. That's very important, because sometimes we have hard times just doing this with our ankle and we involve the leg a little bit to help. That means we are cheating on ourselves, so let's not do that. Let's make sure we completely isolate the leg from the rest of the ankle. It has to be an ankle motion only. This is the purpose of the exercise, so make sure you're doing that. And it's sometimes hard to feel or understand if we're doing the right thing, so let's keep an eye on the leg and let's check that we don't move it at all. Okay, so while you do this exercise, remember to stay focused to the spring and to stay synchronized with it, only with the ankle motions. And in this way we won't feel the weight of the pedal. We'll never feel the weight of the pedal. And a little suggestion that I can give you is to think about the up motion, so the part of where the beater comes back. Try to have the beater as close to the shoe as possible in this exercise rather than pressing it down. it's logical. If we press it down, it means that we are still working against the spring. Instead, if we go all the way back, it means that the spring has all the space and to complete its motion. So it means that it's basically gonna complete its motion, and then by the time it wants to go back, we give a little push. Does it make sense? So we let the spring do all the motion freely, and then we push the pedal back. So it's like this kind of thing. We wait until the point where the spring finishes its course, and then we push it back down. Of course, another thing that you can that will help you to understand if you're doing the right thing or if you're actually synchronized with the pedal is that if the beater has a regular motion. If the beater doesn't have a regular motion, it means that we are not letting the spring do its course completely, and that means that we're kind of working against the spring in some parts. Sometimes we let the spring go all the way back, sometimes we block it before. So having a regular motion is another very easy way to understand if we're doing the right thing. So seeing the beater has a natural motion. Of course, the more we speed it up, the more we will decide like when to stop this spring course, but it still has to be regular. Like it can be all the way down and it's regular like that, or a little bit less, so faster, but it's still regular. Okay, so that that's the approach. But once you will feel this approach, this way of approaching the spring, it will kind of be automatic to apply to any speed. I kind of compare the spring to the rebound for the sticks. So if we take advantage of the spring, we won't feel the weight of the pedals, so we will be able to go faster, first of all, to keep going for longer tempos, because we won't get tired, because we won't have physical work, physical playing involved, so it's gonna be harder for us to get tired. And of course with more power, because if you don't get tired, you can have a lot of power. So it's really the secret, or one of the secrets, to play fast double bass drum with any technique you're using. So I hope that this will help you guys to understand a little bit why maybe you can't achieve the speed that you're trying to achieve, and also to understand how to set your pedal, or especially how to set your spring. So have a good practice, and I'll see you next time.